What's up there, YouTube? Section 333 here. How's it going? Oh. Beautiful Saturday morning. I have not made many videos as of late. Yeah, it's funny. I used to do like, I'd say one every week, one every 2 weeks. Now I'm lucky if I get one every couple of months. It's just been really busy. You know, at the hospital, my mom lives with us now. She was living with my sister, as they had purchased Mom's house some time ago. And then she got to be a little bit too much to take care of. She's unable to walk now. She's 89 years old. You know, my sister was going to put her in a nursing home, and I said, you know, why don't I take her? So I did that, and I didn't want to put her in a nursing home, given what's going around with the COVID and everything like that. And I know Mom's 89, but she's still very dear to me. All right. So hired aides to take care of her during the day, and then my wife and I take care of her at night, because my wife and I do both work. So I'm smoking Independence by Dan Tobacco. It's kind of appropriate because we're getting towards an election, and I think I say this around every election. It's important that you get out and vote. You know, I usually say it's not important who you vote for. I think this election, it might be important who you vote for. And, yeah, by the way, I am smoking this in a pipe whose name I do not know. That is the name of the pipe right there. I don't, tobacco, Zoba. This came as part of a Bespoke post. What Bespoke post is you can sign up. For like $45, I think, a month, and every month they send you either one item or a box of items worth more than $45, supposedly. And if you like it, you keep it. If not, you send it back. They don't charge you for the $45. You can stop it at any time. This is not a paid advertisement for them or anything like that. Somebody got me it as a gift, and they got me a year subscription as a gift, and a good friend for when I turned 50. I think this is the only one I kept. There was one where, actually, no, there was two that I kept. All the others I sent back. There was one where they sent me a very cool it was like non-alcoholic bourbon and gin, and a cocktail book, and some like ways to mix the drinks and things like that, and little mixers. So I think I kept that. And then there was one with a knife that I kept that had a beautiful bone-handled Damascus blade. And then after I was able to put an edge on said knife, it was kind of cool. Came with a nice leather sheath. I kept that one. I molded the leather sheath. Yeah. And then I kept this one. So this is like the third I've kept over the year. So came with the pipe. There was this little pipe rest. This pipe tool, which is a 3-in-1 tool. You got the tamper, you got a scoop, and you got a pick. So that was kind of neat. And it's all in this wooden dowel here. Came with this pouch, which the pipe goes in here, and then the pipe rest was going in this pocket here, and it also came with some pipe cleaners. Actually, nice pipe, these little BJ Long's pipe cleaners, and this little tool also went in here with the pipe cleaners. So this is a wax cotton pouch, actually nicely made. Whole thing rolls up. You carry your pipe around. Not a bad deal. With a pipe brush. Sure. If you want to take, I guess it's if you want to take the pipe show on the road. Go for a hike or something like that, which I have been doing, but not to the extent that I've wanted to. This whole COVID thing, I'm getting a little tired of this, right? I'll tell you, like I said, not the biggest fan of aromatics, but there's something about the way Dan Tobacco does any type of aromatic tobacco. I mean, the scent is nice, the flavor is nice, it's not overwhelming. You just get a hint of it. That plum that they put into it. And then, that's a Virginia with some latakia in it, Independence. So it's actually great tobacco. OMS mug, and I am drinking this in, what am I drinking? Timothy's espresso. Because I need a full kickstart to get started for the day. So yeah, still frustrated that you can't get to the gym. And now my gym opened up, but they're only letting clients in that have personal trainers. So I don't care to have a personal trainer because you're going to spend, figure $500 a year for a gym membership, and then I'm going to pay somebody else $60 an hour to tell me to lift this and lift that, which I already know what to do. No. So, just been training in my yard, basically. Rain. You still come out, you work out, you get your workout in. I've not caught a cold yet, so from working out in the rain. The planes are still flying overhead. So, which is one of those things. It's like, how can you tell me I can't go to church, but you can pack an airplane? How can you tell me I can't go to temple or mosque? But you can pack an airplane. Yeah. So, is such a good tobacco. It really is. And it is a beautiful morning. The fall has been nice. I mean, we've had some chilly nights, but the days have been pretty nice lately. Fall is actually that transition from summer to fall, and fall itself are just some of my favorite seasons. Spring, that transition is one of my favorite seasons, you know. I like summer too, actually, quite a bit. And I enjoy my four seasons. I really do, I guess. I sound very wishy-washy, but truth is there's something I enjoy about every single season there is, you know. And it's even about being outdoors in every single season. You just adapt to it, and you find what you can enjoy out of it. You know, it's one of those things. You find what you can out of it, and then you move forward. You know. But alas, it's not the world we're living in right now. Right now, I feel like we're living in a world where people just whine until they get their way, and that's a dangerous world we're living in, right? Just whine until you get your way, and if they don't give it to you, just whine some more. And yes, I am wearing a New York Baseball Giants jersey. Now, granted, this is probably a San Francisco Giants jersey, but it used to be the New York Baseball Giants, and you used to have to differentiate between the two Giants. You had the New York Football Giants, and the New York Baseball Giants at one time. So I prefer to call it the New York Baseball Giants jersey. I like it because it's orange and it matches both of my cars. I got rid of my Jeep Wrangler, and I got actually an orange Renegade Trailhawk, because my mom could not climb into my Jeep, so she couldn't climb into the Wrangler. So I got a Jeep Renegade, which was actually the right height, and all she has to do is just turn around and sit down. So, and then she can get out of it much easier as well. So, you know, she sacrificed for me to get educated and everything like that, so I can sacrifice a Wrangler for, a few years to get her back and forth to doctor's appointments. One thing with this, and I'm going to try this with this pipe, I'm pretty sure I can fit a 9mm filter in that. So I'm going to try a Savinelli Balsa filter and see if that works. Because I do like the filters. I think they do cut down on some of the moisture and some of the heat, making it a drier smoke. So, we do have a big election coming this year. It's a big one. And, like I said, it's important you get out and vote. And I'm urging everyone to get out and vote. And you got to see if you can get two people to get out and vote. And like I said, part of it is Part of it is that I always I look at it like this. The founding fathers of this country said, you know what? Everyone should have a right to say what they need to say, and everyone should have a right to make sure that their voice is heard. Um, so we developed a republic, representative democracy. Um, and then in the Constitution, they said people have the right to assemble peacefully, people have the right of free speech, and their voices shall not be suppressed. And we won't suppress people's voices. I don't agree with hate speech. I don't condone it. I tolerate because it's just speech. Because a person with a moral background will recognize it as hate speech and will tune the people out who are saying it. And they won't give them credit and bring them to the forefront. They won't sensationalize them. So that's where I am on that. The next thing is they said, gee, how are we going to protect everybody's right to peaceably assemble, and how are we going to protect everyone's right to free speech? What if everyone has the right to bear arms? And I look at it like this. That was the second thing that our founding fathers felt that the free people of this country should have. And yes, I know at the time when they wrote it, African Americans weren't free, but when we were freed, guess what? And we got all the rights that are in the Bill of Rights and in our Constitution. We have them now. We've had them for hundreds of years. We've had these rights now. And the only way I know to protect them is that it protects all the other rights. So I'm a Second Amendment person. I really am. I'm not a gun nut. I don't have like 20 guns in my basement, and ammo and grenades and things like that. But I do believe that I have a right to be armed. And if I can safely, and she's playing with the wheelchair ramp that we have for my mother, the dog. So I feel that if I can safely demonstrate the use of that firearm, and I can safely care for that firearm and train with that firearm, that I have a right to it. And that you have a right to it. And I always advocate, take a safety course with the NRA, get trained by an NRA instructor, and train and practice with your firearm. I don't care if it's shotgun, I don't care if it's rifle, I don't care if it's an AR-15, I don't care if it is a pistol or a sidearm handgun. You train with it. And you should be well trained with it. And that's not just because I think you should be well trained because it makes it safer for me, which it does if you're safe and you're well trained with a firearm. But it makes it safer for you. It makes it safer for everyone around you, and it makes it so that in the time of need where you have to use that weapon, you're able to use it and discharge it effectively. That is why I believe you should be well trained. We're hearing a lot of things like people will not, there won't be a peaceful transition of government. I don't know. I try not to listen to the sensationalism. I don't think there's going to be a civil war in this country. The bloodiest war we've ever had in this country And the most troops we've ever lost in a war was in the Civil War. I don't think that we would want to go through that again as a nation. So I don't believe that there's going to be a civil war. And I hope I'm proved right on that. I'm a little concerned. There are a lot of people who make decisions based on emotion now, and they're not thinking. They're not looking at facts. They're using their emotions to make decisions. And it's a very divisive political and polarized political world that we're living in right now. And that has me leery. Particularly a lot of younger people, actually. Maybe giving everybody a trophy for showing up wasn't such a good idea, because that leads to a sense of what we call entitlement. I remember as a kid, actually on 2 occasions, and this is why I think sports are good. I remember I wasn't a great athlete when I was a little kid. I was a little chubby, stuff like that. I was also a year younger than everyone else. My parents put me in school a little bit early, and like I said, wasn't a great athlete. And then as I started to hit like 12, 13 years old, I became a better athlete. I became the fastest kid in my class at one time, in like 7th and 8th grade. And it changes you in some respects. And then I remember being a good athlete and then losing as a good athlete. And it was a basketball tournament. We came in second, and the second place trophy was like this big, right? And the first place trophy was as tall as I was. And I remember saying, "Wow, that trophy's huge." And the team all got individual trophies, and the individual trophies were bigger than the second place trophy for my whole team. And I said, "Wow." And he says, you got to work harder and you got to win, next year. And then, you know what? I worked harder, we got better, and we still lost. And then my dad said, "Well, maybe you got to work even harder." Because they worked hard too. You got to remember, if you're working hard, they're working hard, most likely. So the third year, we won. And my dad says, "See, this is what hard work does." And I had that happen with a basketball tournament. I had it happen with a hockey tournament as a kid. Same exact thing. It's like, wow, I can't believe we lost, And my dad said, "Well, we're going to lose some, But you come back next year, you work hard all year long, and you work harder than you did this year. You come back, and hopefully you can pull it out." And we did. And that's why I think sports shows, it helps you build teamwork and to work together. It also helps you as an individual, I think, know when, okay, sometimes you have to carry the team, or sometimes somebody else has to carry the team, and you have to help that person carry the team, So it helps you communicate with other people, get along with other people that you may not get along with on a regular basis. But in the concept of the team, because they were guys that I played with that I couldn't stand in school, but we're on the same team, so guess what? We had to start being friends. We had to start working together and communicating with one another, and we did. I also think one of the things too is it puts in a work ethic. It helps you have a work ethic. That's why I think women playing sports is a great thing. Women, I think, have always worked a little better together than men at times, because sometimes men as alphas, a man wants to establish dominance sometimes. And I'm sure there are women that do that too, but I think they do it to a lesser degree than we do. Um, I think a lot of times they work as a collective, and and men. One of the ways that we teach men to work together is through teams, hunting parties, things like that. You know, um, that's why it is important that that fathers are in households, so they can teach their young men how to be independent, but also how to work with one another too. And it's both parental roles. Mother's roles, you cannot put a value on a mother's role. A mother today is everything. A good mom, a good parent today is worth their weight in gold. Literally, worth their weight in gold. Because you are establishing a human being that is going to go forth for future generations. And the values that you give to your children will be your legacy. I'm getting very preachy, and I'm sorry. But I'm a little concerned about our society right now. And people have my friends and I very rarely agree politically, but we're still friends. It's one of those things. We're still friends, and it's about being a person with bad ideas versus being a bad person with ideas. And so, like, if I look at like one of my friends that I don't agree with politically, I think he's still my friend. I don't like his idea. Whereas some people look at someone who differs from them politically and says, that's a bad person. And so therefore, any idea that comes from that person is a bad idea. But don't lose faith, all right? Get yourself out there and you vote, all right? And vote based on how you feel on issues. You got to find some issues that you really feel and base your can. Don't base it just, oh, well, I'm voting for him because he's not the other guy, And yes, that is a wasted vote. But if there's an issue that you feel strongly about, you vote on that issue. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Section 333, out. Keep smoking.